So he's widely applauded for that strategy. And in the past, that has worked very well. Like that is a great fiat strategy to build up your huge fiat pile and wait for the markets to collapse and then be able to rush in like they did in 2008, 2009 and swoop in and buy all of these things at a massive discount or get like very favorable terms on preferred stock and things like that. That's the Warren Buffett method. It's made him a billionaire, right? And I come from that school, right? I started Berkshire, my business, as a value investor in the Warren Buffett style. I used to listen to Preston Pysh all the time pre-Bitcoin, and I went along with him on my Bitcoin journey, and we kind of discovered it at the same time. And he's what helped me be okay with that as a value investor getting into Bitcoin, which again back then was considered as this wildly speculative asset, right? I do have respect for Buffett, even though he's obviously very misinformed about Bitcoin, right? He calls it rat poison, and Charlie Munger, they both are just he was very against it. I get that, right? He's old, dude. The dude's he's over 90 years old. Why would anyone care about what a 90-year-old thinks about a new technology, right? So of course he doesn't understand it. He got Apple like 20 years too late. He doesn't invest in technology. He always says, I know nothing about technology. Basically, I like things I understand, like railroads and newspaper businesses and things like that. Bless his heart, right? He's been very successful. So he was the most successful fund manager of the last century, and that should not go unacknowledged. And even though he has a bad Bitcoin take, he's a master capital allocator. Many months ago, that's what I was saying about Saylor before this became kind of widely known, that I said he's like the Warren Buffett of Bitcoin. Like he understands capital allocation. A lot of people use the term speculative attack, but I think that's too aggressive, and I think that raises the hackles of U.S. politicians and financiers. I like the term, which I just coined recently, speculative arbitrage. And I think that's what he's doing. So Saylor sees the differences. He sees the importance of being able to get rid of a debasing asset with favorable terms, like say 0.625% interest rates on his latest round of debt that he just issued, and take that arbitrage opportunity and put that into very undervalued Bitcoin right now. So getting back to your question, Buffett has this massive pile of cash right now. All of the value investors are golf clapping and saying, wow, he's look at all that cash. I think that's massively foolish. And I think, and I might do this, by the way, I still own a little bit of Berkshire just so I can keep my foot in the door there. I think that shareholders should basically start demanding that while fiat brains think that's a wise strategy, I would say that's a very foolish strategy to hold a melting ice cube, right? Like they have that huge pile in cash. I know when they say cash, by the way, it's usually sitting in short-term treasuries. So they're probably earning 5% interest rates or so on that cash. Golf clap. Well, that's so smart. Good for him. He's ready. He's going to swoop in and buy stuff if the market crashes. In the meantime, though, he's losing the purchasing power of his shareholders. It's actually, not only is it not wise, I would say it's actually kind of dumb. I think that shareholders should put proposals out, and Buffett would be the perfect first target. They should say, you need to put at least 10% of your cash pile into Bitcoin, because you're just losing our purchasing power. Like this is actually a bad investment, even though a lot of people are giving them the golf clap on CNBC and Bloomberg. So that's my take on it. There are a lot of companies like that hold these massive amounts of cash or short-term T-bills. That's not very smart. So I would say that, and I hope Bitcoiners do rise up. Bitcoiners like me who still have one foot in traditional finance and the other foot in Bitcoin, we should start putting shareholder proposals out there for people to vote on, at the very least, because it raises awareness and it allows Bitcoiners to get to talk at the shareholder meetings and just be like, look, hey, we have this, whatever, $100 billion plus in cash. Let's put 10% of it in Bitcoin and just see what it does. 10% is not going to make or break the company. If we're right, though, we could pull a Saylor and have these massive returns. I think one by one, I think Berkshire will probably be the last to do that. Although Buffett's not going to live forever, right? I'm a doctor. I understand that human life has its limits. He's nearing the end, right? And I don't want him to die. I don't wish anything bad on him. But he's not going to live forever, and probably not that much longer. And then the younger generation will take over. I think it'll be interesting to see how they respond. And I think it's possible the very people that got him, to invest like an Apple stock, that wasn't Buffett's decision, it was the younger guy's decision. They may not be as opposed to a Bitcoin as he is. So we'll see what happens in the coming years.
You tweeted out even today earlier, don't lose sight of the bigger picture. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And we've gone really to this next phase, which you have here, which is collectible kind of novelty and then store of value number 2, 3, medium exchange, 4, unit of account. Can you kind of go into this and kind of your thought patterns? If you want the answer to that question right there and you like that spicy clip, check it out here. Come on, we'll see you in there. But if you want the full interview in its entirety, all the spicy clips put together, and you're not going to want to miss it, believe me, then check that out here. Come on, we'll see you in there. Do it.